lot of great organizations are our partners in the ongoing effort to create and preserve affordable housing, including here on College Avenue. I'd like to thank Harry DiRienzo, the president of Banana Kelly Community Improvement Association. The plan we announced today is going to have a far-reaching impact on the people of this city. It's going to reach every neighborhood, every borough, 200,000 units over 10 years. It has undermined the very idea that people can live long-term in this city with their families, can live in the neighborhoods they love. For the first time in the history of the city, it's become more and more of a question whether people can stay in their own neighborhood. And we aim to address that squarely. 200,000 units equals enough housing for 500,000 New Yorkers. And we won't address this crisis of inequality if we do things the same old way. Now, it is just as important to preserve an affordable unit, to make sure it's clean and safe and good for a family, and keep it affordable. That is just as important as building a new unit. We have to do both. These buildings are a prime example. This is not my first time on College Avenue. Last time I was here, we were celebrating. Well, we were celebrating. Vanessa was here, a lot of you were here. We were celebrating the end of what had been a very troubling time for the residents of these buildings, because they had fought not just a bad landlord, not just a very bad landlord, but literally, according to our worst landlords watch list that the Public Advocate's Office created, it was literally the #1 worst landlord in New York City the year that we came out here to make the change. That pressure worked because community residents stood up, tenants stood up, advocates stood up, elected officials, city agencies all came together and said, we're not going to accept an unacceptable status quo. And it was because of organizations like Banana Kelly that change came to these buildings, that the bad landlord was moved out, and the people finally had a chance at decent housing. Now I want to bring up a man who's really been a hero in the fight for affordable housing, and one of the many heroes who saved these units here for hardworking people, Harry DiRienzo of Banana Kelly. Hey! Hey!
Mayor, I'm very happy to be here today. In order to do a project like this, where you're preserving housing, preserving a neighborhood, getting rid of a terrible landlord, the worst landlord at a certain time, and also protecting tenancies and making sure people can stay in their homes, takes a lot of work by a lot of people. First, it takes the people themselves. They have to be willing to come out of their isolation and work together for something collective. That's not easy. It's easier than it sounds, but it's not easy. Then you need some mobilizing force. Casa New Settlement was the organizers here. They brought together, they facilitated the organizing process. You need public attention. We got that public attention from our former public advocate, current mayor, Bill de Blasio, who put a spotlight on a terrible, terrible landlord. You need legal services. We have Ian Davey here today. We have Stephanie Rudolph here today. Legal services are critical. We needed a bank that held a mortgage, but because of their first look policy, where they said we're going to look first to a nonprofit before we go ahead and sell it to the market, New York Community Bank sat down with us and negotiated a price that was fair for us, but was also fair for the bank. Then what else do you need? We were brought in as developers. We've been doing this for 40 years. We do very well with development, but that wasn't enough. We needed partners with more capacity and more money, and Wave Crest Management Team and FC Equities came in, and between January 2013 and March 2014, had to invest about $1 million to get title and to keep these buildings in some kind of decent shape for the good tenants that are here. And they are good tenants, hard-working tenants. Many of them aren't here today because they are working. Then what else do you need? You need experts. Our architect, general contractor, all of that. Take any one of those elements away and the whole thing may fall apart, right? The CPC, Community Preservation Corporation, they're a lender, but they're more like our partners. They sat with us and went through the whole process with us. So many pieces went into this puzzle to make it work. But at the end of the day, without HPD coming in, HPD is the glue that makes all these preservation projects work. And I will say this, I said it before, bar none, it's the best housing agency in the country, HPD. And I think we should give them a round of applause. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you for coming today, and thank you for the leadership you put in place, because the people you put in place have the experience and the knowledge and the disposition to know that neighborhoods matter. And we are here to say we are your partners. We look forward to working with you and your administration. Thank you very much.